Hi, everybody. Hi. This is Davis. This is Dr. Kenneth Davis, and I have an experience to share with you today. So, what the experience is about is when I went to Publix ATM. Publix is usually a store that I shop in. Everyone knows that I'm also a couponer, a life coach, a regular, just an awesome consumer. But I had an opportunity to go to Publix, and when I went to Publix, the ATM, I wanted to go into the grocery store to do my grocery shopping and do a little extra stuff too. And so what happened was when I went to the machine, the debit card machine took my card and I put for an amount of money, large amount, $500, to get out the debit card machine because I had some bills I wanted to give. My goddaughter, was her birthday weekend, and I wanted to give her some money and just do some things in which I wanted to use cash. I didn't want to always pull out my debit card. So when I went to the machine, it did everything except dispense my money. So it froze and held me, but Publix machine still kept my money. Yes. When I went into the store and I spoke with the customer service manager, what she told me was that this has happened before, and another customer had this instance, and it's going to take about 24 to 48 hours to make sure that you your get your money refunded to you. So I was like, is that working days? Is that business days? Or is this actual time? She said about 24 to 48 hours. So I gave it 24 on Sunday. And I didn't receive an email or anything else. So I was like, this is strange. Let me do some research. Maybe I can find the company and I can email them directly. So it's the Presto service. Now the Presto service is owned by Publix. So it made sense of how she could go in and say what happened to my card, and she spoke with the lady and the process in which it would need to take. So when I got up Monday, I looked for an email, any type of response in regard to say, an apology of this is what happened. No apology, no anything. So I called the customer service number at Publix directly to their corporate office to find out what was going on. And so I spoke with the lady. Her name was Brittany. Brittany told me the process, and it takes about 24 to 48 hours, so it should be about Tuesday or Wednesday before I get my money. And I said that's not acceptable, and that's not going to work. So we went to the process. She said, well, I would have to call my bank directly, and maybe they could expedite it. And I said, Brittany, that's not going to work. So in turn, we um, I said, so what you're saying is you're not going to call my institution. You're not going to rectify this problem. This problem was held by your machine at your store, and you're not going to give me back my money. And they were like, no, it's going to be a few days. So when I got to that point, what I did was I said, okay, you have to make a decision whether you have to know how to fight and when to fight. So I said, I'm not going to fight this one. So I made up in my mind I was going to rationally talk with her. So after talking with her, we got my bank on the line. And my bank said between 3 to 4 days because the credit had just been issued. Did you hear me? The credit had just been issued that morning. So they were trying to expedite it um, faster than it was. And I said, well, if you could expedite that and you didn't offer it, why didn't you send it Western Union back to me for the charge in which you received? If you could do that, you should have sent it back. Well, it came from that card back to the card. I said, but it was an error. And we're going on day number 3. So we're actually going on 48 hours. We're almost going on. So we're going on day 3. We've completed 48 hours. Now we're on day 3. So we need to do something better. My bank said, well, Mr. Davis, I will call you back and then we'll go from there. So my bank in turn called me back on a separate line to let me know what went on. Publix have walked out and walked away and have not helped me. So when I asked to speak to a supervisor, the supervisor came and more or less reiterated what the customer service representative said. I think her name was Lisa, or something like that. She said that I will check on that and I'll give you a call right back. And she has not called me yet. So as far as Publix as a store, horrible. Do not use their ATM. Do not, because if you have a problem with their ATM, and it does, they are not going to provide great service. I've never had a problem out of Publix until this, but when it affects your money and your livelihood, that's money that that I've been saving and that I use for my bills. And you don't take that much money and not give, and then they act like it was a separate entity, but it's the same department, but it's the same store but a different department. But yeah, Publix, don't use their ATM machine. And how they treat me, I will not probably be making that one of my stores, as it's not going to be my go-to store any longer. My coupon classes, not going to be their go-to place. um Is it wrong for me doing this? No. Because there's two things that you should never have to do. You should not have to beg for attitude. You don't have to pay for that. You can get that for free. And you always supposed to get great service. Did not receive it. Horrible. All right. So y'all have an awesome evening. Remember, don't use their ATM machine. Because if something happens, they don't have a fast response and they don't care.